Right lads, you asked for it. This is the Holden V8 Supercar tune. Before I get into the build, I'm actually going to show you my quickest time in this car in a race on Bathurst. Now this was a dry race, we're in softs, final lap, final stint. Conditions were prime and we're going hard. We're in third place, we were trying to chase down first and second. Second was, he was quick. First place though, I've never ever seen anyone like it before. At the end of this lap, I'll show you the lap times. And as you can see here, I made a few mistakes. But like over the crest there, there's no wheel spins. This build is solid. Clips every apex perfectly. But 6/10 up, I can brandish a 204 here. But I get the dreaded minor tyre wear. As soon as you get that, you lose 25% worth of grip. And now we flick it right, clip that wall just too much. Unfortunately ruined a couple of, probably about a tenth there really. But we do lose a lot of time in this sector, probably about half a second, through the tyre wear and me just making tiny little silly mistakes. But I'm on for a 205.3, 205.2-ish, depending on how I do this final sector. But this guy in first place, I've never seen it before in my life. A 204 is quick around this track, let's be honest. So we're coming into the final corners now. Like I say, this car is on rails. It's so easy and so good to drive, and I do think you lot will enjoy using it. You can obviously make it personal to yourself, but this is my build that I run. And I just go for stability and ease. But do me a favour lads, check this lap time and let me know what you think. It's just disgusting how quick this boy was. I'm hoping he was quick. 2 minute 3.696. Never seen anything even remotely close to that. So GG's all around. Anyway, let's get into the juicy section of the video. Right, this is the build. So these upgrades, they're all completely stock. Fuel and air, we've got fuel system and ignition, all stock. Engine, we've got valves, displacement and pistons, all stock. Platform and handling, we've got brakes, weight reduction and ballast, all stock. Tyres, they're all stock. Wheels are stock and the driveline is also stock. Tyre pressures that I've opted for are 30 psi on the front and 30 psi on the rear. Now heading over to gearing, these are the ratios that I've gone for, so do feel free to screenshot or pause the video. The alignment, I've gone for -1.6 on the front, -1.2 on the rear. The toe is at 0 on the front, but -0.1 on the rear. This just gives it a bit more stability into corners and a bit more traction coming out. And the front caster is at 7.0. Anti-roll bars, I've gone for stiffer on the front at 28.0 on the front and 23.5 on the rear. Found this was a decent ratio. If you want it to be a bit more slower to react, knock this down by about 5, likewise the rear, but try and keep the ratios the same. I felt like this did work really well. The spring stiffness, I've gone for stiffer on the front at 650.1 pounds on the front and 500.0 on the rear. This leads to more understeer in relation to how the balance of the car is set up. But if you do want the car to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more twitchy on corner entry, and corner exit for that matter, knock this up to maybe 550, close to 600, and you're good to go. But I felt this was the happy medium of good stability, good traction, and easy to drive. The ride height, I've knocked it up a few clicks because Bathurst is very, very bumpy, and there's a lot of elevation changes, so 3.5 front and 6.5 on the rear. Damping, I've gone for 3.9 on the front and 3.8, and the rebound is probably softer than what you were expecting. I've gone for 8.7 on the front and 8.3 on the rear. This lower rebound stiffness is going to try and push them tyres back down into the ground when you go over a crest, over a bump, etc., leading to more contact with the road from the tyre. So the roll centre height offset, the front is at 5.5 inches and the rear is at 4.3. Again, this just promotes a more understeer and forgiving car. If you want more rotation, knock the rear up. Simple as that. Anti-geometry, the anti-dive is at 30.8 and the anti-squat is at 25.5. Aerodynamics, the front downforce is at 165, so the minimum, and the rear is at 231 pounds, again at the minimum. So this is just going to promote speed. You'll have a bit less grip in the corner, but with these cars, I don't think it's that significant. Give this a try, see what you think. And if not, feel free to add aerodynamics as of when you need. Braking force, I've gone for the balance is at 50 and the pressure is at 150. And the acceleration on the rear is 65% and the deceleration is at 10%. Alright lads, that's the end of the video. As always, take care of yourselves and stay tuned for more.